Hello and welcome back to the Emotionless podcast. My name is Logan, and as always, I will be your host. So this is the Kentucky trip part 2. Let's hop right in. So in the last episode, we talked about how I went down to Kentucky to meet Claire, and I stayed at her house, and I had the cookout with her family. I met her dogs. I met her cousins, who were supposedly homophobic, but they actually weren't. Blah, 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 blah. At some point, Claire's grandmother suggests that we go to this, zoo. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. It's in a whole different time zone, actually. It's I think it was an hour behind. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Because supposedly they have this, really cool cave you can go in. It's, in the middle of the woods, so it's, really natural. And I'm like, well, let's do it. So we drive down there. We're, bumping to music. We're having a good time. We're vibing. And it was a really fun day. The cave was so cool. It was, this cavern, and you'd, walk down these, stairs, and then it's, 30 feet up, and it's just, cave. It's just nothing but cave. And there was, crystal formations, and there was, this... I felt really bad for our tour guide because, everyone was interrupting him and nobody was, letting him talk. And I was just like, that's, really not okay and cool. But, the human race is very special. And, we got to see some really cool animals. Let me look back in my Snapchat memories and take a look and see if I, remember anything more specific. I don't really, remember too much. From this trip, specifically the zoo portion, because, I don't know, I don't think it was, a huge part of the trip. Let's see, give me one moment. Okay, here we go. So, in the, part where I was in Kentucky, let me see if I have any videos from the zoo. I don't. Fuck. That actually really surprises me that I don't. Okay, well, I guess I don't. So... But that did refresh my memory a little bit. So we go to the zoo, we're having a good time, blah, 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 blah. And on our way home, we go by a McDonald's. And I don't remember what prompted this fight, but we got in a fight, and Claire threatened to throw my phone out the window. Now, here's where it gets juicy. I tell her, do it. And so she grabs my phone, she's holding it on the window, she's like, I'm going to do it. Don't test me, I'm going to do it. And I go, you're the one who's going to have to buy a new phone, not me. And she goes, no, you're going to have to buy your own phone. I'm not going to buy you a new phone just because I broke yours. And I'm like, excuse you? Did you say, I'm going to break your phone and then you're going to buy yourself a new one after I broke it? Huh? What? Anyways. So I was just like, I don't think that's how that works, sweetheart. I don't think you break somebody else's property and then they have to replace it. You have to replace it. You break it, you buy it. That's how that works. This was another fight we got in, and I sat in the basement and pouted for 2 hours. And then, we made up, and Claire's grandmother made her apologize to me, and we hugged it out and blah 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 blah. But while I was in the basement pouting, I was just scrolling on Facebook, and this really cute guy popped up in my feed. We'll call him Johnny. And I noticed that Johnny had posted that he would be coming to Beacon College. And I was just like, damn, I wish he was gay so I could fucking date him. Turns out Johnny is gay. And so I'm like, hey, I text him over Messenger, and I'm like, hey, I hear that you're coming to Beacon. I go to Beacon. I wanted to give you some advice and, get to meet you before I meet you in person. And he's like, oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, here's my Snapchat. Like, text me on Snapchat. And, so we're talking. I'm telling him about the school. I'm like, avoid these people. They're bad. Avoid this. Don't do this. Don't do that. Do this. Do that. Use the writing center. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, so, like, tell me about you. Like, what are you? Do you have a girlfriend? Whatever. And I'm like, actually, I'm gay. And he's like, oh, so am I. And I'm like, well, look at that. And he's like, yeah, I just wish I had a boyfriend before I started college. And I'm like, oh, same. I wish I could have had one during freshman year. That would have been so helpful to have someone to talk to and bitch and whine all my emotional trauma to. And he's like, well, I could be your boyfriend. And I'm like, I mean, yeah. And so he officially asked me out. I said yes. Over Snapchat. And, we were just texting and flirting all night. We're having such a great time. We're talking about what we're going to do when we meet each other, kind of dates we're going to go on, all this stuff. And I'm just so pumped. And, and for some reason, this pissed Claire off. Well, at first she was actually really excited. And she asked, can I have Johnny's Snap? And I said, hang on, let me ask him. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I have a big rule. And this goes for anyone's phone number, Snapchat, anything I have. If I have your phone number in Snapchat and somebody else asks for it, I refuse to give it out unless I confirm with you that you're okay with me giving your Snapchat phone number out. Instagram, that's one thing. But Snapchat and phone number where you can call and text people, that's a whole different thing. And so I was like, hey, my friend Claire wants your Snap. Can I give her your Snap? And he's like, I'm just like not comfortable with that. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, okay, no, that's fine. I respect that. That's why I asked. I didn't know if you'd be comfortable, and I'm not going to do something that you're not going to be comfortable with. This pissed off Claire so much. I don't really understand why, and I never will. I figured she'd be happy for me because this is my first like official boyfriend. So I figured she would be happy for me, but no, she was pissed. And so I was like giggling on the phone in my bed, texting him, talking to him. She's like, oh, you still texting that stupid guy? I just remember how like upset she got, and I was just like, why are you so like bent up about this? Like, why is this such a big deal to you? And she never really gave me a chance. She's like, just stop texting him so we can hang out for a little while. And I'm like, you're like only going to be here for another couple days, and I want to like hang out with you. And I'm like, okay, so, I tell Johnny like, hey, can I text you a little later? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. My handsome king. Like, I love you. I'll text you later. And so me and Brittany, like, we watch a movie together. I can't remember. It was a really good movie. Now I can't remember what it was. Fuck. I wish I could remember which movie it was. That'd be so good. Let's see if I can find it. No. I'm not seeing anything. No, I'm not seeing anything, unfortunately. So I'm just like, why are you so like on about this? And, I don't know. So we watch a movie, we settle our minds, and then I go back to texting him because I'm like, good night, I'll talk to you in the morning. I love you, my handsome king. I can't wait to wake up to your beautiful smile. Blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, ugh, love, ugh. She's just so on about this. But, I brush it off. I never think anything of it. And maybe sometime I'll tell you the story of how that relationship ended, because it did not end very well. I still love this guy. I will always love this guy. He's one of my best friends in the world now. I don't text him super often, but I do love him, and I did get a chance to meet him last year, and he was super, super sweet and super, super caring. And any guy that ends up being his boyfriend and or husband is the luckiest guy in the world, as far as I'm concerned, because this guy is amazing and top notch. Hear what you want for a boyfriend. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the Kentucky trip part 2. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will have to talk again really soon later. Make sure you follow all our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, maybe Facebook later on, and check out some of our other episodes if you'd like to. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys really, really soon. Bye-bye.